From the old days since Starhopper, then passing through ship SN8, then passing with SN8, SN12, finally with S20. Now, we are in the present, with ship 60 and booster 28 ready to rumble and go to space. Welcome back everyone to another Space Outlet stream. Today, it's going to be a epic mission and a little historic one. Today, we're collaborating with Ship 20, the X account of one of the best X accounts of roleplay and Kerbal Space Program Steam stinks. And we teamed up to do this mission. This mission is going to carry two twin satellites from Ship 20 Technologies to geosynchronous orbit or higher orbit. These satellites are going to study storms, formations, and other meteorological phenomena that could happen on Earth to study better the weather on Earth and improve our capabilities on weather detection and storm detection. The satellites are a major milestone for scientific studies, weather, and more. Also, this is a giant step for spaceflight, since this is one of the greatest collaborations we have ever done, and it was a great process to work with Ship 20. Today is the end of this work, but a phenomenal work from the Ship 20 team and the SpaceX team collaborating day and night to have you this launch, to give you this view of the Starship vehicle and this view of Earth when the satellites are deployed. Today, we're going to have two missions. The first one being this, Ship 60 and Booster 28. Booster 28 is gonna ignite its 33 Raptor engines to power up Ship 60 to orbit. Then, the full stack will experience the max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure. Then, this process is when the vehicle experiences the most aerodynamic pressure that it's going to experience in all the flights. So there's going to be a major stress on the way up. Then the ship will rotate onto a position to do the hot staging and help the booster to rotate. The pistons are meant to deflect the gases of the ship and help the booster rotate. Also, the hot staging ring is the same for that. And with this rotation, the booster can now rotate up and better. Then the booster will continue. The booster will continue its ascent, and then it's gonna shut down 30 of its 33 Raptor engines. This booster is gonna then, since it's gonna power to 50%, and then the ship is gonna ignite 3 of the sea level and 3 vacuum engines as to ignite the 6 engines the ship has to power its way away from the super heavy booster. Then the ship will continue its path. Meanwhile, the booster is gonna continue on its boost back burn. In this burn, 13 of the 33 Raptor engines, the center ones, are going to be ignited to power the booster back to the line site. Then, 10 of its engines is going to shut down, and then the booster will shut down that 3 engines to do its coasting phase. Then, the super heavy booster in the coasting phase is going to prepare it for re-entry. It's going to orientate engines first. Then, since there we have the heat shield for the landing of the booster, then the booster is going to experience the max Q re-entry. That it's similar to max Q on ascent, but this time on descent. So it's going to be pretty different on the places that the booster is going to have the stress. Then the super heavy booster at 2 or 1 kilometer altitude is going to start its landing burn, igniting 13 of those 33 Raptor engines. Then the super heavy booster will switch to 3 engines for the final approach to the tower. The tower then will close its chopsticks, that mechanic arms that you see on your screen, and then will close to catch the booster on the catch pins as always. The ship then will continue to thrust its way to space, and then we are gonna have the ship Seco. In this maneuver, first we're gonna shut down these 3 vacuum engines, since we don't need it anymore for thrust in the vacuum. And then we're gonna leave with the 3 center engines that can rotate and gimbal for the final approach for orbit, for the final insertion. Then The ship is gonna wait until the next launch we have today. We have the entire V. Ship 63 and booster 27-5. That's gonna be the refueler mission. Since this mission is gonna go to a higher orbit, we need to refuel our tanks so we can have plenty of fuel to go to that orbit and then come back. So it's gonna be an interesting launch, and since we have that docking, the ship will transfer all its propellant to ship 60, nicknamed Jerry. And then the ships will undock and ship 60 will do its path for the orbit. A pretty basic flight, you ask me. But here's the way. We are currently at T minus 23 minutes, T minus 3 minutes and 20 seconds away from launch. We want to see how excitement we are in the crowd. So today we're gonna have an amazing flight, and we guarantee you excitement is guaranteed on this flight. Currently at 3 minutes away from launch. Booster and ship continue to look nominal for today's flight. Ship did its flight test before the live stream started, so we know that the ship flaps are going nominal for today's flight. We're currently 58 subscribers on the channel, so if you want to support us and improve our content, consider subscribing to the channel to have more missions like this. Also, if you want to book a payload, you can contact me on the Discord server of SpaceEye. Also, from our Instagram account on Instagram is SpaceEye underscore official, and on our YouTube, as you can see here on the comment sections for flights and booking. 2 minutes and 5 seconds away from hearing the Raptors rumble on the Starbase site. We're currently away from that, and we are getting close. Excitement is building up on Starbase, and we are go for launch. We're currently waiting to the go no go. That could happen on the hold of T minus 40 seconds, but we hope to not have that hold. But if we need, we are gonna do it. That hold could last to 1 hour to just a couple of minutes. Stay tight. Ship looking nominal. Flight director is for now go for launch, waiting till the go no go pole. We are currently close to launch, just in seconds for that flight. Currently seeing if the 33 Raptor engines are looking nominal. Hold. Stay tight. This is the final go no go pole for Starship flight. Propellant, go. Range, go. Stage 1, go. Stage 2, go. Raptor 1, go. Raptor 2, go. Raptor 3, go. Stage 0, go. Final checkouts on the engines. We are go for launch on Mission Control. Flight Director, take your decision. Flight Director is go for launch. Resume the countdown on my mark at T minus 40 seconds. Swimming in countdown in 3, 2, 1, go. The launch is pulled, and here we go. 2 minutes, 14 seconds for the Starship flight, and here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. TDS start. You can see there the flight declaration system starts. Then now the tail is system activation of the Starship check. Roger, ignition, receive turn speed, and then we see the 33 master engine looking down up there. The next major milestone is going to be hot staging. Satellites reporting good health. And the rotation you can see there for the hot staging. Ship getting hot. Pico. State separation confirmed. Pushback startup. Booster boosting back. Now we have a booster on the way to the tower and the ship on the way space. You can see there the ship on the background from the Super Heavy booster's view. Ship power on telemetry nominal. Satellites power on telemetry nominal. Ship performance nominal. You can see there, and boost back burner shutdown. Booster is starting the coasting phase. Booster rotating for entry. Starship upper stage power and telemetry nominal. And the way we see there, booster has completed its boost back burn and is now going to the tower. Griston activation of the super heavy booster. Ground views of Starship. Ground views of Starship there on space. RCS on the vehicle completing good health. Ship rotating for orbit insertion position. Ship power telemetry nominal. Raptor chamber pressures nominal. Continue to look nominal on 6 Raptor engines on the ship, 3 vacuum and 3 sea level engines on good health. Meanwhile, the booster is returning to Earth. Use of the super heavy booster on board. Continues with nominal, ship and booster going nominal. Now booster is experimenting the thinner layers of the atmosphere. We can start to hear the air on the super heavy booster microphone. Let's go booster, go space ice. We're going for catch. If we abort and we land on the dunes, doesn't matter. We have recovered the booster on that situations. Here it comes the booster. Landed burning spot up. 12 out of 13 engines. little bit of the freeze camera. Booster abort patch. Booster abort patch, doesn't matter. Because I'm in that situation. Booster patch done, set, already passed. Booster recorder shut down. Booster has landed. And an excitement landing of the super heavy booster. View some Starship. Go Starship continues to look nominal and it's burned. We are on the ship has completed its orbital insertion. We're having little problems. Ship, looking at me now. Space I check the tanks of the ship, see if we need really the fuel the refuel. If not, proceed with the next burn. Space I is checking. Space I checking. It seems that the fuel is good. Uh, Save some fuel of the reserve tank, then transfer the fuel for landing to the main tank to the herd tanks, and then use the remaining fuel for the rifle insertion. Then the satellites do their work. Copy. SpaceX, defuel ship 63 is not going to be needed for this. You can proceed with the launch for refueling other ships or refueling the depot on orbit. SpaceX entered the coasting phase. Ship, start the ship fuel transfer to Heatherton startup. away for burn. Rise in orbit. Seconds away from engine start. Seconds away. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reactor vacuum activation. Ship continues to the terminal. Seconds away. 3, 2, 1. Sequel 2. Ship on a good trajectory. Prepare for the satellite deployment. The percentage of the fuel is only the main tank. The header tank has full fuel. cargo bay door open. Start deployment, start up. Satellite capsule of kind of the present setup. second satellite displacement sequence startup solar panels. And this is gonna be our end for today's webcast. We thank a lot to Ship 20 on X for having the confidence and launching with us and helping us to improve and have better launches. And we hope this collaboration is not the last one with him, but we hope this opens the door for a lot of collaborations with other famous people on the X account and the aerospace community. With no more to say, just greetings and thank you for all the people that was involved in this collaboration. Thank you for being here, you all. If you are followers of Space Eye or Shipenti, thank you for being on our webcast or enjoying the post on X. Or yeah, thank you for being here with us. We hope you stay on the Space Eye community, and we hope you have enjoyed this flight and this live stream. We hope to see you again in other live streams. And just the last thank you, well, a thousand thank yous for all of you, and thank you for being here. This was Isaac, CEO and founder of SpaceEye. Thank you and goodbye.